Hey booktube! Welcome back to my channel. I am the Book Mage, and it's time for another big chunky book haul. Now I wouldn't normally do one this soon, but like I'm potentially in the process of moving and it's a whole thing, and so I'm kind of trying to like sort my books and box them up, but like I kind of need to know what I've got and what I don't have and what is where. So you're getting a haul sooner than anticipated. As always, I have a big ass stack of mostly subscription books and mostly also like special edition, like one-off purchases. I do have a few just regular standard hardcover and paperbacks, but not many, so I will start out with those. And as usual, I will have everything like time-stamped in the description so that if you want to like skip to like a particular unboxing or something. Let me start with my regular non-special paperback books. If you've seen my reading plans for May, you'll know that this is one I picked up specifically to read in May, and that is City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. So I recently read The Tainted Cup, which is Robert Jackson Bennett's newest release, and that is a high fantasy, like classic murder mystery type setup, and I really enjoyed it. And I kind of figured that one thing that I think I might like is just mystery, but in a fantasy or like fantastical setting. Now this is kind of the same thing. I don't know whether this is like true fantasy or if it's like sci-fi as well. Honestly not sure, but I know it's like a fantastical setting. So on the back this says, "You've got to be careful when you're chasing a murderer through Bulikov, for the world is not as it should be in that city. When the gods were destroyed and all worship of them banned by the police." Sorry, I can't. If I try and read it in an accent, I'm literally just going to sound like Limmy. So reality has folded. Stairs lead to nowhere, alleyways have become portals to the past, and criminals disappear into thin air. The murder of Dr. Ephraim Pangui, the police department researching the continent's past, began something. Now whispers of an uprising are fluttering out from invisible corners. Only one woman is willing to pursue the truth, but it is likely to cost her everything. It seems like another like murder mystery, but again as just like a starting point. It seems weird and fantastical. Basically, I read the author's newest release and really liked it and the sort of vibe, and because he's written from this sort of kind of genre before, I wanted to go back and give some of his earlier works a try, because this, I feel like if the newer stuff is anything to go by, I might also really like this, and this is a trilogy. I think it's a complete series, so if I like this, I'll definitely be getting books 2 and 3. Also, in that same vein, is Drakenfeld, and this is by Mark Karen Newton. One thing I have to say about this book, the front cover looks pretty cool. It's kind of like hard to see, like the purple and gold. I think, if I show you the spine, I think someone's PNGs, because this is how the spine turned up, and I just feel like it is not meant to look like this. Basically, I was just in a kick of wanting more, like, high fantasy mystery. So this says, "They'll kill to hide the truth, he'll kill to find it. The monarchies of the Vespasian Royal Union have been bound together for 200 years by laws maintained and enforced by the powerful Sun Chamber. Nations have flourished as a result, but corruption, deprivation and murders will always find a way. Following his father's death, Sun Chamber officer Lucan Drakenfeld is recalled home to the ancient city of Trium, and he becomes rapidly embroiled in a mystifying case. The king's sister has been found brutally murdered, her beaten and bloody body discovered in a locked temple. With rumours of dark spirits and political assassination, Drakenfeld has his work cut out to separate superstition from certainty. His determination to find the killer quickly makes him a target as the underworld gangs of Triumph focus on this new threat to their power. Embarking on the biggest and most complex investigation of his career, Drakenfeld soon realises that evidence is leading him towards a motive that could ultimately bring darkness to the whole continent. The fate of the nation is in his hands." So again, starting small with a weird, complicated murder mystery, and just blossoming out into like big fantastical proportions. I just think it's one of the things that when you're reading like a straight up murder mystery, like whether it's modern day or whether it's like Sherlock Holmes or Agatha Christie or anything like that, like yes, the murder might be interesting, but I also want stuff that might blossom out into like fantastical warfare or like gods and theology and demons or dragons. Like there could be dragons or magic, or just like I want otherworldly fantasy stuff in my mystery. I feel like it makes it so much more interesting, and I feel like sometimes you get a really good balance between the fantastical aspects of a world that can be anything you want it to be, and yet keeping them grounded enough and like clear enough to the reader that your murder mystery, or like whatever your mystery is, makes sense and is logical and is still able to be like solved. I feel like it ties the murder mystery or whatever mystery it is down really well, but it also like keeps the world building really like grounded. I mean, if it's done well, if somebody just says like, oh, a wizard did it, I'm gonna get mad. But like, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's why I'm enjoying this genre so much. I feel like where the fantasy aspect comes in, especially with any sort of world building, it just has to be done so well and so carefully and so thoughtfully to not conflict with like the mystery genre part of the book, that I just feel like so far from what I've seen from things like The Tainted Cup and things like the Empire of the Wolf series, I feel like so far, from what I've seen, when it's done well, it can be done really well. And so with books like these, that's what I'm hoping to get. It does not end there. I was browsing a charity shop and I came across this, and it was £1. Although they did force me to make a £1 donation. They were like, oh, if you check out, you have to also donate £1. And I'm like, okay. So technically it cost me £2. Like, I didn't argue. So this is a gross beat up book, but for what it is, like, I don't care. And this is called The Tainted Relic. And bearing in mind, I saw this while I was reading The Tainted Cup, and I was like, that's a sign. If it gets me to buy a book, I will call it a sign. So this is kind of like an anthology, which famously I do not like, but I feel like, I don't know, it's £2. I'm gonna give it a go. So this is 5 enthralling interlinked mysteries from bunch of people who are like really famous. I think they call themselves the Medieval Murderers, but that's like the group of authors that I guess get together and write anthologies like this, which sounds fun, you know. Alas, I do not have a group of friends like that. Yeah, so this is set in the real world. It's not fantastical, but it is medieval. Well, it starts in the 1100s and I think progresses like through time, or I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it says a series of intriguing interlocking mysteries by Britain's best known medieval crime writers, a decapitated monk, a savage impaling, a mysterious talking raven, and then at the heart of it all lies the lethal influence of the evil relic. So like, it might have a slightly fantastical aspect to it, maybe like on the level of early Indiana Jones style fantasy, where it's like it's the real world, but like, I don't know, relics and shit they can be magic. Like, you can just be like opening an Ark of the Covenant and just melting people's faces. I had Talking Raven and Cursed Relic. It was kind of an impulse buy, but again, I feel like if I really start liking this genre, then this might be something that I kind of like want to branch into. And for £2, I'm gonna have it. Okay, back more towards the fantasy mystery. I also picked up one of my most anticipated books of this year, actually, and that is the Silver Blood Promise by James Logan. And this is book 1 in the Last Legacy series. So I believe there's been quite a lot of hype around this book already. I'll be honest, I was drawn in by the cover. It kind of gave me like almost like Loch Lamora type vibes. Also, it's just like a beautiful cover and a big chonky hardback. I am quite excited about this one. Let me check the synopsis. So this says, Lucan Gardova is a card sharp, academy dropout and, thanks to a duel that ended badly, the disgraced heir to an ancient noble house. His life consists of cheap wine, rigged card games, and wondering how he might win back the life he threw away. So you can kind of see Rose getting like this disgraced, roguish type character. I'm very enamored by like any sort of like thieves, rogues, that sort of like storyline, which is why I like stuff like Loch Lamora. But also, like, you can't you can't give me like a disgraced heir. Like, I'm gonna latch onto that so quickly. I'm gonna be like, tell me your tragic backstory. I eat that stuff up. I like that. So when Lucan discovers that his estranged father has been murdered by unknown assailants, he finds fresh purpose. Deprived of his chance to make amends for his mistakes, he vows to unravel the mystery behind his father's death. His search for answers leads him to Sophrona, fabled city of merchant princes where anything can be bought if one has the coin. Lucan only seeks the truth, but instead he finds danger and secrets in every shadow. For in Sophrona, everything has a price, and the price of truth is the deadliest of all. So, again, I love that. I think I've talked about this in like my most anticipated books of this year. Basically, this again is kind of like, it starts off as like a murder mystery. I don't know how much we're going to like cling to that. I don't know if that's just like the inciting action for the book. But again, I'm really intrigued by like this big fantastical city. I really do like high fantasy, city fantasy sometimes. Again, I liked it when it was done in stuff like Loch Lamora. I feel like if you can give me like a really well realized like setting, this might be something that I can really enjoy. And also just like the vibes of this, I can't wait to read this. This sounds really good. And like when I put this on my most anticipated list, I didn't anticipate that I would suddenly get really into like high fantasy murder mystery things, and that's how this starts off. So like, I guess it was just meant to be. Okay, another one that I got, again, I've been eyeing this book for quite a while. I've been eyeing it for like several months, in fact, but I only ended up picking it up again because murder mystery, like high fantasy mystery, and it is The Helm of Midnight. Now, I have heard some very good things about this. So basically, I went looking specifically for like high fantasy, but like mystery genre books, and this one popped straight up and I was like, I remember reading about that. So it was still sat in my cart, so I just bought it. And as it turns out, this one actually has, I don't know how easily you can see, but it has deckled edges. I know some people don't like them, but I think they give the book character. I kind of like them. I don't know, I've never disliked them. What I will say is the font is very small, but I guess I'm getting a lot of book for the amount of book. This one, again, I think is very like investigation focused. So again, this one is crossing like my love of like thieves and like thievery type fantasy with apparently my new love of mystery stuff. So in a daring and deadly heist, thieves have made away with an artifact of terrible power, the death mask of Louis Chabon. Made by a master craftsman, it is imbued with the spirit of a monster from history, a serial murderer who terrorized the city. Now Chabon is loose once more, killing from beyond the grave. But these murders are different from before, not simply random, but the work of a deliberate mind probing for answers to a sinister question. Krona Hervath and her fellow regulators must enter the mind of madness to stop this insatiable killer while facing the terrible truths left in his wake. So that sounds really interesting. Immediately, like, again, I've bought this book because I'm super excited about it, but does that not sound like, I know it's, and again, I'm sure this is based on like a Twilight Zone episode or something like that, some other like well-known popular fantasy or horror type thing, but you know the episode of The Simpsons where he gets the criminal's hair transplanted onto his hair and it makes him evil? I'm like, is wearing this death mask imbued with the spirit of this evil dead guy, this serial killer, are you being controlled by like the essence of the spirit of this evil killer, a la Homer Simpson wearing, is it snake's hair? Yeah, the other thing that I know about this series, and I feel like it had a different synopsis online, but I think the investigators wear like these special fantastical suits that I'm not entirely sure, but I think the suits themselves have like fantastical powers, and I can't remember whether it's stuff like, I don't know if it gives them like, I'm thinking of like a fantasy overlay or something, or whether they can be used for communication, or whether it's like super strength or anything like that. Like, I have no idea. I just know the investigators, I'm pretty sure, wear like special magical suits of armor, and maybe they look like this on the front, I'm not entirely sure, but again, that seemed really intriguing. So this one is definitely one that I'm really hyped to get to soon as well. It's taking mystery and being like, okay, well, if I were not constrained by the bounds of my own reality, what other cool stuff could we do? And I like that. Guys, I'm so not done on the mystery front. So I also picked up a book for me, a book that's so for me. Everything about this is so for me, and it is Mushroom Blues, and this is by Adrian M. Gibson. So first of all, like, I love this book cover. This is like the coolest thing, but also it's printed on like the naked hardback, and like, look how good it looks. I adore this. Like, I absolutely adore this artwork. I love like neon city stuff, and I love mushrooms. You know your girl loves a mushroom. My god, I'm so sorry if you have mycophobia, but my page is not for you. But like, look at this. This is so cool. Oh my god, there's so many mushrooms. I can't get it. I'm so excited to read this. So this is a new release, and it's an indie title. Again, I'm pretty sure that this is more like a bio cyberpunk investigative thing, but where like I think there are mushroom people in this. I think some of the people are like part mushroom, like part fungus. Honestly, so cool. I love that. So it's been likened to Blade Runner, True Detective, and District 9, which honestly sounds great. Oh, and they're calling it fungal punk noir, which fungal fantasy, fungal punk. I'm so glad that this is a thing that exists now. I'm like, please let me on board the bandwagon for fungal punk. So let me read from the synopsis. So it says, 2 years after a devastating defeat in the decade-long Spore War, the island nation of Hopon and its capital city of Neo-Kinoko are occupied by invading Corprinian forces. Its fungal citizens are in dire straits, racked by food shortages, poverty, and an influx of war refugees. Even worse, the corrupt occupiers exploit their power, pushing the native populace towards the brink of civil unrest. As a winter storm looms over the metropolis, NKPD homicide detective detective Henrietta Hoffman begrudgingly partners up with mushroom-headed patrol officer Koji Naneko to investigate the mysterious murders and disappearances of fungal and half-breed children. Their investigation drags them deep into the seedy underbelly of a war-torn city, one brimming with colonizers, criminal gangs, racial division, and moral decay. In order to solve the case and unravel the truth, Hoffman must challenge her past and embrace fungal ways. What she and Nameko uncover in the midst of this frigid wasteland will chill them to the core, but will they make it through the storm alive? It just sounds so cool. It's fungal punk and I need it in my life. It's so like, even the little details of like mushrooms growing out of the barcode, it's so cute. Yeah, and I feel like, again, I feel like the books coming from like indie authors so often tend to be so much more fascinating than like a lot of the mainstream stuff, especially stuff that I get sent in like, as though I'm not just about to unbox a load of subscriptions in a minute, but like Fairyloot would never send me something like this. I like fungus, I think it's cool, I just think it's neat. I have also ordered the signed numbered editions from the Broken Binding, which is good because this copy that I had to get it off Amazon because again it's indie published and that was the place to buy it, and obviously because it came from Amazon it came damaged, and then like a nice shiny signed edition will come in the future. Breaking briefly away from like the fantasy, I've just come across, I probably should have hauled this earlier or like at a different point in my haul. I'm gonna blast through this one really quick because like I don't know how much of like an actual story this is, but I did pick up Myrtle. A friend and I saw this, I've heard of it before, but a friend and I saw this in like a motorway service station on the way to a Dragon Force gig, and it just seemed kind of fun. I think it's just like Wordle things and puzzle things, and there might be a story at the end, I'm not entirely sure. It is like a murder mystery thing, so I don't know what else to say about this one. I literally don't even know like what the format or anything is going to be. I think this is just a puzzle book for me to do that might also have some murder mystery, like an overarching story or theme, I don't know, but I have it, so I'm hauling it. I don't think I have to say anything else about it. Back to the regular books. I wanted an arc of this so bad, but alas, I'm not that lucky. And it is In the Shadow of Their Dying, and this is by Michael R. Fletcher and Anna Smith Spark. It's got this lovely artwork printed on the hardcover without the title. I really love like colourful covers like this, like greens and blues. The synopsis for this one says, the third best assassin, a second-rate mercenary crew, and one terrifying demon. As Sharam crumbles under siege, a mercenary crew hires an assassin to kill the king. For Tash, it's a chance at glory, to be the best blade in the dark Sharam has ever known. For Pitt, it's a way to get his cutthroat crew past the Sari siege and out of this hellhole, maybe even with some gold to their name. For Iana the Bound One, it's a dream of shadows and human blood. So I guess this is like a very weird group of people teaming up to kill the king. It's only a novella. It seems fun, it seems weird, it's grimdark. I definitely think I'm gonna like this. Obviously I was not going to not get this. So I think this one is the last of the regular like non-special edition books, and that is Projections by S.E. Porter. Now I was initially drawn to this one by the cover, and I think I've heard some good things. I think I'm mixed on how well I will actually enjoy this book. If it does the things that I think I would like it to do, then I might really enjoy it, but I'm not sure. I'm also not sure if it's YA or not, but we'll see. I was intrigued anyway, so let me read you the synopsis. Catherine Bildstein pays the ultimate price when she rejects fledgling sorcerer Gus Farrow, but death isn't enough to free her. Her ghost remains stuck to her obsessed murderer, even as he turns his attention to girls who remind him of her. As Gus uses his magic to kill again and again, Catherine knows she must find a way to stop him and release her own trapped spirit in the process. Catherine may have lost her voice, her body, her dreams, and her life, but she has not lost her power. So it's an adult debut, a dark historical fantasy about misogyny and unrequited love. I feel like it was sort of like the feminist aspect of this that intrigued me, and if it's done well, I think it's the word adult debut that scares me sometimes, because I've not like sometimes when a YA author does an adult debut, it is just YA but with like, it's maybe slightly more explicit and like aged up characters, but if it's an actual adult debut written for like, I don't know, not the mind of a child, then I might really enjoy this one. Either way, I wanted to pick it up and give it a go. It seems like it could be dark, maybe gothic, hoping I enjoyed this one. So now kind of moving on to special editions. The first one here is from Waterstones, and it is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. This was mainly an author buy for me. I do really like how it's nice and shiny though. So I've enjoyed Leigh Bardugo's Grisha series, even though I still haven't read the last book. I mean, first of all, I like the cover. But what I really like, under the dust jacket there is this like teeny tiny foil. These are so pretty with like the gold foiling. I love that. The book does also have these patterned sprayed edges. So in a shabby house in the new capital of Madrid, Lucia Cortado uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil. When her scheming mistress discovers her scullion is hiding a talent for little miracles, she demands Lucia use those gifts to win over the royal court. Determined to seize this chance to better her fortunes, Lucia plunges into a world of power-hungry nobility, desperate kings, holy men and seers, where the lines between magic, science and fraud blur. With the pyres of the Inquisition burning, she must use every bit of her wit and resilience to win fame and hide the truth of her ancestry, even if it means enlisting the help of an embittered immortal familiar whose own secrets could cost her everything. So I'm not typically into like historic or real-world fantasy, but Fully Bardugo, I'll give it a go. I will be giving it a go at some point. This next one, Am I Boo Boo the Fool? Yeah. But the reason I got this is because it was the last one available for sale. It was the last one available for sale, at least from like regular bookshops. And it was very discounted as well. If I were to show you this box, do I think this series is mid? Yeah. Are both the books in this series about a 3 stars, maybe like a 3 point something? Yeah. Did I buy this anyway, even though I have multiple editions? Yeah. No one is allowed to judge me for it, okay? So this is another edition. Oh god, the binding. The binding is not... Okay, the binding is not great. She's got stiff joints. Okay, I've only bound 2 books in my life and I could do better, but fine, whatever. It's chonky, I guess. Yeah, this is Empire of the Vampire, but this is the colour special edition. And the main reason that got me to buy this, honestly, do I have several special editions of this book and the sequel already? Yes. But the artwork is nice, and the artwork in this edition is in full colour. So I was gonna buy it. I know it's just one step away from monochrome. I mean, it is monochrome, it's blue, but it just looks so nice in colour, like the map. I really want to find some like full colour artwork. Like the text is in red. I'm not going to reread the whole book, but I am going to flip through and look at the pictures. Character artwork in full colour. It just looks fantastic, and this book is worth getting just for the character artwork. Seeing like little bits of text like in red and like, I don't know, scenes in full colour. For an illustrated book, I really like it. So just let me make bad financial decisions. Look, I'm already getting a mortgage, so like if I do that, like, I'm screwed for life anyway. So I'm gonna be poor anyway. I might as well be poor and own things. From there, I think I'm gonna go on to a new subscription, which don't start. I know, I have too many subscriptions. I literally only signed up to this subscription specifically for 2 reasons. One, because I heard they were coming out with, I don't know when, but I've heard they're doing a book by an author that I really want. I don't know if it's going to be part of the monthly subscription or if it's going to be like a standalone, like you have to buy it separate purchase. I don't know, but I want the priority access to purchase that or to receive it in the subscription. So I have temporarily signed up for the subscription, and also so that I could get they were doing a release of some other books that you had to just like, again, just buy, and if you subscribed you got priority access to the sale. As it is, the fact that I'm receiving the subscription is like, I didn't sign up for the subscription, I wanted the other things that came with it. I would never have signed up for this subscription if they didn't do a couple of the books that I wanted to get, some of which I will unbox in a second. So we'll see what it is. Like, I'm really not selling it, am I? If you couldn't guess just by narrowing down what subscriptions I already have, the new one that I have and which I will be cancelling, it is The Locked Library. I don't know if it's YA or adult, I think they do both, and I think they are primarily fantasy. So let's just see what I've got in the meantime. It does come packaged quite cute. Okay, it's very shiny. It strikes me immediately as not something I would gravitate towards, but this is What Monstrous Gods by Rosamund Hodge. And it says, her destiny was to kill him, he'll haunt her even in death. We have some quite detailed sprayed edges. Oh, and a ribbon bookmark, that's nice. We have some patterned end papers, a foil rose, which is quite cute. I do like the designs on this book. I do really like the foils on the front, look really nice and effective. I like a book that sometimes has like some big chunky foil. It's very shiny. What is this about? Oh, so this says 7 girls they had sent and none ever returned. The 8th girl is me. Already giving I'm not like those 7 other girls. So, centuries ago, the heretic sorcerer Reuven raised the deadly briar around Runakia's palace, okay, casting the royal family into an enchanted sleep and silencing the kingdom's gods. So is this like a Sleeping Beauty style retelling? I'm not sure. Born with a miraculous gift, Leah's destiny is to kill Reuven and wake the royals. When she succeeds, she finds her duty is not yet complete, for now she must marry into the royal family and forge a pact with a god or die. Why? To make matters even worse, Reuven's spirit is haunting her. Rich and romantic reimagining of Sleeping Beauty, and it's got to be a YA. I'm just gonna say straight up, I'm not gonna read this. If you know me IRL and you want this, hit me up. I'm not even gonna put this in the like my little chaotic read it or unhaul it challenge. I just know it's not for me. Okay, from there, let me go on to the books that I actually wanted to get from the locked library. Well, not unboxed because I've already unboxed it, mainly because it came to me in horrific condition. And that is the locked library edition of Mark Lawrence's The Book That Wouldn't Burn. So I do already have a copy of this from the broken binding, but they were kind of plain. So I did go ahead and buy the locked library editions because they just have these really lovely sprayed edges. They come with this foil on the front and like a foiled spine as well. Oh, that's so cute. The books in the end papers are like books from the world of Mark Lawrence's stories, because there's one here called Venom by Sister Apple. Sister Apple is from Mark Lawrence's Ancestor trilogy, but there's one here called Appetite for Destruction by Rose Somebody, and that is a Guns N' Roses reference for sure. Okay, I can't spend time looking through this, but they're cute little fun references. I think I own quite a few of Mark Lawrence's works now in special edition. I honestly think the Book of the Ancestor trilogy, which is the one that I've read, is the only one that I don't have special editions of. So I just kind of wanted to get these ones because they're like just a bit more special. I think the broken binding ones are signed and numbered, but they have a plain sprayed edge. And I think I do have one to unbox in a minute, so we will compare. The reason I was slightly pissed about this book though, this is what they sent it in. The books are just completely raw dogging this fucking envelope. It's not any place a book wants to be. Now this is a stunning cover. I think this might be a colour variant, honestly. Again though, this does have the same lovely style of sprayed edge. And it says, "We fight for the people we love," with all these stars, which I really love. The end papers on this are so stunning. I've never known where you buy a special edition book, because obviously the people that got these the first time came in protective packaging. But yeah, my friend who also ordered these, hers came really scratched and dented and beat up because there's not even bubble wrap in there. Okay, so from there, just so that I can like compare these, I'm going to unbox my broken binding books next. So this is their edition of The Book That Broke the World by Mark Lawrence. Yeah, I don't know which one is the alternate cover, but I love this cover so much. Like, look at the colours. Oh my god, it's beautiful. And it does have just a plain sprayed edge, but like honestly, I sometimes I think we're getting spoiled, because like sometimes just a plain sprayed edge, like when I first started booktube, pretty much all books that had a sprayed edge, it was just a plain colour and people went nuts for them. They were like, oh my god, I have to have the edition that's just a plain block red sprayed edge. And if a book company did that now, we'd be like, that's so boring. And it's like, it's true, but I think we're just spoiled. So this is signed by the author, and it does not have any sort of end papers or any foil. I don't know, they're both really pretty. There's nothing stopping me just taking this cover and putting it on this book. Like, what would you do? I don't know. If I really like this, though, this could turn out to be a favourite series, because I have really enjoyed reading from Mark Lawrence in the past, and this is his newest stuff. So honestly, if I like this enough, maybe I will just have 2 editions, and like they look so cute next to each other. So like, we shall see. It's not like I have a book hoarding problem already, but like, I'm not saying I'm moving just to expand my bookshelves, but like, that is a little bit what I'm doing. I'm going to continue on with my broken binding books now. So this is one that I've unboxed already, but I mainly just did so to make sure what it was and that it wasn't damaged, because this came a long time ago. And this is Slaughtered Gods by Tilda Coldholt. This is the 3rd and final book in the Hanged God series. I'm so glad it was on the bottom for me to read there. So this is, I started reading this series earlier this year, and this is a like epic fantasy, Norse mythology inspired, like very realistic, grimdark, like Norse fantasy. It's multi-perspective, it's adult, it's really well written, and I really enjoyed book 1, and so I'm really looking forward to going on to book 2, and then this one being book 3. Now the cover on this is like, it's gorgeous. I know who this character is. The sprayed edges, they're meant to like form an image when you put them next to each other. So this is one side of Yggdrasil. I think that's Odin and Fenrir. Oh my god, look at the artwork. The artwork is beautiful. Sorry, I know which characters this is related to, and like I love this artwork so much. It's so cute, it's so beautiful. Like the artwork is stunning, as is this like beautiful wraparound foil. And again, I think if you put all 3 open foils next to each other, it forms like a big long picture of like the Viking longships. Broken binding are so creative, like it's so good. I'm glad I finally have this series. I'm glad it's this super cool special edition. I really like them. Okay, what else do I have? So this one from the Broken Binding is a mystery book. It just says The Dragon's Hoard. So I don't know what it's going to be. So let's find out together. Oh, I think this is Sebastian de Castell. Do you know, somebody, if this was you, somebody suggested to me via a Goodreads message that I should do like a challenge where I try and guess books by the sprayed edges. And like, if I can guess from that, I think I'd be really good at it. If that was you, I will do that challenge, I promise. So this is Play of Shadows by Sebastian de Castell. I have not read any of his, I think it's called the Great Coat series, and I think this is set in like the same universe. Beautiful, like I love the little corvid on like the sprayed edges. This is lovely sprayed edges, and beautiful foils. The quote on the back says, "Then I will form a new court and we will put the shadows themselves on trial." It is a series that I do really want to get to. Anything that is just like a standard paperback series, I'm trying not to pick up, and like at least until I've moved. If and when that will be, I don't know. Houses are weird, houses are hard. I'm just a girl. So I'm also not going to look too much into this. I know I looked at the synopsis. Yeah, this is the first volume of a new Greatcoat series, so I want to read the existing ones before I like start diving into like the synopsis and like what this one's about. It is definitely something that I want to read, so obviously that's why I wanted to get like this nice lovely special edition. I do have another book by him in special edition, also from the Broken Binding, so again, I just kind of wanted to like keep it all together and make sure that like I'm not missing any in my little magpie collection, like my dragon's hoard of books. But yeah, I'm kind of putting it like in the vault until such a time as I have read some more books by him, like to catch up to like this point in, I don't know if you can read them in any order, but like I would like to read them. I would like to read the first Greatcoats books first, which I think makes sense. Oh, okay, I think I know what these are. So these are the slipcases and the fall. We've got like some little coasters. So this one is the Gilded Dragon, and like look how cute he is. And it's just kind of like plain on the back. Warning, may cause resurrection. That is cool. Something about this has like a Dragon Age Inquisition vibe, although it might just be because it's green. So it's not on here, but I think the first book is called Of Blood and Fire. Look at the design of this slipcase, like the spine with a quotation, and this is the back. So yeah, it's got like this beautiful wolf. We've got like these little dragons like up in the sky. We have a dead guy, beautiful dragon egg, like, and this is the quotation. It's all done in foil as well, and I don't believe it's coming off on my hands either, which is nice. And the quote says, "The sun will set and rise again, and it will do so the next day and the next. The gods are in charge of such things, but it is by our own will that we pick ourselves up when we fall." And speaking of, this is the fall. The quote on this one says, "You must always rise so that others rise with you." So it has like this like battle scene on it. Again, like, oh, these are some people getting absolutely roasted, toasted by this dragon. Love that. Are they orcs? You can't get the book out. So this is very shiny because it's in Mylar, but this is the novella The Fall. I'm trying my best to show it to you, but there is going to be like a lot of shine. This is a lovely edition. It has like these silvered edges. It is absolutely, oh my god, you can't see the back yet, but like this is stunning, but wait until you see this. Oh, the dragon's face. This is so cool. It's just a big dragon. I love dragons. This is like one of the best end papers I have ever seen in my entire life. Look at this. Because this is not the first book in the series, I'm not going to go into like the synopsis, but I am going to pop this back into its slipcase, from which I suspect I shall ne'er again be able to retrieve it. but that's fine. It can just live in there. Okay, shockingly, I only have 2 more from the broken binding. So next I'm moving on to Nettle and Bone, and I believe this goes with a couple of the other books I unboxed in my last haul. This is such a cute little book and I love the colours. This is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Yeah, this is the beautiful broken binding edition. I don't know if this is just like the standard cover. I love the sprayed edges, like the colour. A little dead like skeletal dog, I guess. So this says, this isn't a fairy tale where the princess marries a prince, it's the one where she kills him. So after years of seeing her sisters suffer at the hands of an abusive prince, Mara, the shy, convent-raised third-born daughter, has finally realised that no one is coming to their rescue. No one except for Mara herself. Seeking help from a powerful grave witch, Mara is offered the tools to kill a prince, if she can complete 3 impossible tasks. But as is the way in the tales of princes, witches and daughters, the impossible is only the beginning. On her quest, Mara is joined by the Grave Witch, a reluctant fairy godmother, a strapping former knight, and a chicken possessed by a demon. Together, the 5 of them intend to be the hand that closes around the throat of the prince and frees Mara's family and their kingdom from its tyrannous ruler at last. So this is a short little book. It sounds like a fun, dark play on like some well-known fairy tale tropes, I guess, and honestly this is a cute little edition and I really like this. Okay, and I've definitely messed up the camera angle grabbing this book. This is the last of the broken binding books I have to haul, and yeah, I mean, I know what this is. This says, there's no freedom quite like the freedom of being constantly underestimated, and that is a quote from The Lies of Luck Lamora, which is the new series from the broken binding for the next couple months. So I am so happy to have this. I do have like 2 editions of this book already, but honestly, like, it just needed the broken binding treatment. I do like the editions I have, but a special edition, like, hell yes. I mean, this was a book that I gave 5 stars to, and so far the broken binding have done a couple of my favourite adult high fantasy series now. Oh my god. See, I love that they've kept the like the paperback cover. I love this cover. I feel like it's my favourite of the Loch Lamora covers, but I do think that they've done some stuff under the dust jacket as well. So I really like this. I feel like these are really in keeping with like the vibe of the book. So these are the sprayed edges. They're really quite detailed. I don't totally know if I like the colour choices they've made for this series, but I think if I think of them as like colours for like suits in a game or like playing cards or something like that, because I think all the trilogy, I think they're going to be like quite bright or recognisable colours. You know me, I like a I like a black sprayed edge, but they're really detailed. The number of like little references that they've managed to put in. So this is the very shiny under the dust jacket foil, and I am going to be fair and say that we all know that I don't particularly think that foil on a person ever really works or looks good. I still think, my personal opinion is, if you are doing a foil of a person, the entire person should be fully foiled and the outlines should be where there is no foil, so the negative space on a black book makes it look like a black outline and the rest of the character should be foiled, instead of the other way around. Nobody ever does it that way and I don't know why. That's my personal opinion. Anyway. So this is the foil. It's inverse on the back again, like a playing card that you can turn up and down. I think they changed some stuff, like they changed the font on like the ribbon. I know they said they changed something about Locke's appearance because it was too similar to another drawing where another artist had drawn Locke holding a drink, and apparently it was too similar, so they changed it. I'm personally of the, like, I don't know what was going on between the artists at the time, and like I trust the broken binding to make the right decision. I personally just sometimes think that Locke is a character who drinks a lot throughout the series, so like, okay, there's going to be more than one drawing of him with a drink, and I think the only similarity, like the thing they changed, the thing they took away was that his hair was like more flicked out. But I'm like, if you read the book and the character's described in a certain way, if I ask 2 good artists to draw the same character from like the same description, they're gonna draw him looking the same. So I personally didn't see an issue with it, and I think I liked the original design better, but like I understand why they changed it. I feel like seeing the broken binding's response to this compared to the Fairyloot response to their very blatantly stolen edges for the Throne of Glass series, two, like, just worlds apart, honestly, worlds apart. So there's no wonder that I like the broken binding much more. My favourite thing about this edition though is the artwork on the end papers. This is phenomenal. This is beautiful. I think this one could potentially contain some spoilers, but like if you don't know, you don't know. So I'm gonna show this page anyway, but like if you're really avoiding spoilers, then don't look, but it won't actually tell you anything. It's just, I feel like you'll get maybe like 3/4 of the way through the book and maybe know what's going on, but that's it. So there you go. Basically, if you don't know what this series is about, have you ever been on my channel before? It's a high fantasy and you're following Lochlamora and like his band of thieves, I guess, or more like con men, his band of like con men, and they're kind of like Robin Hood in that they steal from the rich, but they do not give it to the poor, they keep it for themselves. And this series is one of my all-time favorites. I gave the first and the second book both 5 stars, which is really rare for me to do that. And basically in the first book they are setting up to, they're kind of starting off like the biggest heist, the biggest like con that they have ever tried to pull off. It is like the most complicated moving parts, and it's so entertaining, and the book gets kind of meta, but like I'm not gonna say how. If I talk about it more I'll just start rambling, but you've definitely heard me talk about this book series before, because I've done so many times. I think I'm going to move on to Fairyloot just because I can reach them the easiest. Okay, so the theme for this month is, and I say this month, there's a few months here, so this is from March 2024, and the theme was Swan Lake. I don't have hope. Don't ask me why I still have a Fairyloot subscription. Just don't at me about it. Okay, I'm seeing some, and I think it's this way up. Okay, oh, this is very shiny. So this is A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. I like the glowy vibe of the cover. I'm not totally enamored with it. I really like the glowing effect. I'm just not a fan of this, but like I wish this sort of like almost like bioluminescent glowy sort of hue had been used on any other book. Let's see what else it has going for it though. It's hard to see, you're not gonna be able to see it. So it has this nice little simple foil here. I don't know if you can see, but like here, there's actually a really faint feather pattern in the background. Like, can you kind of see them? These little smudges? They're feathers, trust me. And then we have this foil on the back. Simple but effective. Love triangle. Okay, we've got the character artwork on the end papers. I do really like the spine though. I think the spine is really pretty. I'm so sorry, it's got a reversible dust jacket. I do really like this colour. I really like the sort of glowy blue and teal. I'm assuming this is a colour variant of the original. I just keep saying sizzling fae romance, a princess, a cursed sister, dangerous fae lord. Oh, give me a fucking break. Okay, in a kingdom where magic has been lost, Fia is a rare changeling. She was left behind by the wicked fair folk when they stole the High Queen's daughter, Iala. When a hidden gate to the world of the fair folk is discovered, Fia is tasked by the High Queen to retrieve Iala and break her curse, but she doesn't go alone. With her is Prince Rogan, Iala's betrothed and Fia's childhood best friend. As the two journey into a world where magic winds through the roots of the trees and beauty can be a deadly illusion, Fia's mission is complicated by her feelings for the prince and her unexpected attraction to the dark-hearted fae holding Iala captive. Of course it fucking is. Irian might be more monster than man, but he seems to understand fear in a way no one ever has. Oh, I'll fucking bet. I'm not gonna read it. I'm so sorry. And look, I know for a fact that some people really like this kind of thing, but it's just, I don't know. I think a thing that I like when I ship characters in books sometimes is I like not necessarily knowing if something is going to be canon or not at the time that like things start to progress. It's kind of like, I don't like you to tell me this person and this person will end up together and it's going to be like spicy romance and everything else is just inconsequential. It's just boring to me. I like to not know what's going to happen in a book. If the only thing I'm reading for is the romance and you spoil what's going to happen, I just don't care. I just do not care. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't even know whether to bother doing like a try a chapter. Is it in first person? If it's in first person, there's no fucking... Oh, don't Holly Black start me off with a fucking... It's in first person. I'm not reading it. Moving on to a different Fairyloot book. It's probably for the best because like I've got so many books already. That's just one that'll go in my next unhaul. It's fine. I'm allowed to... Ooh, what's this? Okay. I've had a total change of heart. This one says The Occult. Oh, I like the vibe of this. I like occult things. Okay, I'm just gonna say I got really excited because I was like, this is like my favorite color scheme, almost like this darkness, blue, silver, like little candles and things. And I open, this is like the most garish page. Like this is, oh, I think this is the front. Oh, I know what this is, upside down. I know what this book is. I'm so pissed because I've ordered this book and I know the original cover is like why would you make it red? There's just, it's just, I wish they'd done a different cover but like kept it the original colours. Because this is not it. This book is not red. The vibes of this book is very much this. It should be this. It should be this. Okay, yeah, so this is an author letter. I wish they would start binding them in because I will lose them otherwise. And like, how hard is it to bind them in? Like, Page and Wick do it. Everyone else does it. Just bind them in. I'm salty because I hate the colour change. Like, it's so pretty and like, I just know the standard edition isn't going to be this nice, but I want the blue one. I just want the blue one. So this is Evocation by S.T. Gibson. I did not know we were getting this in a Fairyloot, which is why I definitely have ordered the Waterstones edition. The standard edition better have this much fucking foil in it because I don't want to keep the red one. Look, this is the spine, shiny. The standard edition better be this goddamn shiny. And this is the back, and on the back it says only blood can rewrite blood. We have these very cool sprayed edges. It's so fucking red. Anyway, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I really like the foil they've done on the front. I just wish it was a different colour. And we have a different foil on the back. And we have some very shiny character artwork. We have some tarot cards and some character artwork there. And some different character artwork in the back. I will say, give me one moment. It's the same artwork on here. This looks so similar in pose to the artwork from S.T. Gibson's other Fairyloot special edition. Like, it was definitely like a person clinging on to another person, and I feel like they were looking in some of the... I'm just gonna put them side by side. So I do really, really like this edition. I think it's a really nice edition. I just fucking wish it wasn't red. So, when a family curse threatens the life of David, a medium, he will turn to the only person he's ever trusted, his sorcerer ex-boyfriend Reese, which means he'll have to open his heart to Moira, Reese's astrologer wife. Meet David, Reese and Moira for the first time as they navigate magic-riddled Boston through hierarchical secret societies, familial bonds from beyond the grave, and much more in this gorgeous, richly imagined novel. And there is a reversible dust jacket, which has some very cool artwork on it. I'd rather be exceptional than average. Pressure is part of the package. And it's got a really nice design on the spine. I just don't like how shiny these are, so I probably won't keep it that way. But honestly, I might end up... like, I don't have the Waterstones edition. I don't think this is out in the UK yet, so I think this is early. But yeah, I might have to take the standard edition cover and put it on this one. The only thing I don't like about these sprayed edges, honestly, is this really garish, like, top and bottom. I just don't like it. Yeah, a book that I would buy for myself, considering I have already ordered myself a copy. I didn't realise it was set in Boston. I'll just have to make my peace with that. I'm so sorry guys, I just really don't like America as a setting. Okay, I think I have some Inkstone books here. I'm going to get to this one next. This one does have kind of like a big dent in it, so like I hope the book is fine. Okay, this has a very striking cover. This is The Dance of Shadows by Rogba Payne. So this has a really cool cover. I don't know if these are corvids, but if they are, I love that. Like, you know me, I love... Oh no, they're vultures! Quite detailed, patterned, sprayed edges. And it's along all of the edges. So this is the foil underneath. I really like how like the negative space of this plays with like depth and shadow, like under here and like on down here. So that's really cool. Again, do you see what I mean? They've made the entire thing, the entire like, is it like person, being, or statue? I'm not sure what this depicts exactly, but they've made the entire thing foil, and then the line work is the negative space. This is exactly what I meant. Do you see how much better this looks than when you make the foil the outline? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm not wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong because I'm not wrong. There's no end papers, but it is pen signed, and they have quite a cool little signature. So this says, Rumi and his family are Odu, stricken with poverty and disparaged by the other tribes. When ruthless agents of the Palmine, the colonizing nation that dominates the continent of Basmine, threaten to destroy the village market, Rumi takes it upon himself to liberate his family. Taking a place in the prestigious Golden Room, where earnings from his music offer a chance at freedom, he shoulders his pride and resentment in a bid to make it to the top. On what should be Rumi's greatest night at the Golden Room, his life is turned upside down. A terrifying stranger known as the Priest of Vultures attacks Rumi and his family. In a moment of terror, Rumi's mother solicits the help of a dying god and saves Rumi, setting him on the path to become a shadow wielder, warriors with the ability to use their shadow as a weapon. But Rumi's need for vengeance may be more important to him than the future of his people. That sounds really good. Honestly, the whole like vengeance-seeking shadow warrior in relation to like gods and theology and stuff is giving me like massive like Nevernight kind of like in Nevernight Mia can like wield shadows. That always played like a really interesting part in like especially like the fight sequences. So if this is, and I mean this, I feel like this is gonna be like a more mature version of something like that. So yeah, I had no idea this was coming, but this seems definitely up my street, way more than something like A Feather So Black. Like, I will take Vulture Feathers over Swan Lake any day. This is definitely one that I'm going to get to. This will be going onto my shelves. And I think that was the only Inkstone books, but I do have one of my Goldsboro subscription books. Oh, like a laser tag? This reminds me of laser tag. So this is High Voltage by Chris Sugden and Jen Sugden. So, okay, and it says wickedly funny. Oh, I really like, do you know, it's so 80s. I think that's why it reminds me of something like Bowling or Laser Quest, because their vibe is like permanently stuck in the 80s, and like I really like this. I actually really like the colours. I really like this colour scheme. It's very like, it's a bit garish, but like I like the pink and blue. I like the sort of like bubblegummy kind of colours. Oh, the authors are from Yorkshire. So this is set in even greater London, 1887. Already I see the way the humour's gonna go. An uninterrupted urban plain encompassing the entire lower half of England and, for complex reasons, only the upper third of the Isle of Wight, the immense tower, capital T, casts electricity through the sky, powering the mind-boggling mechanisms of the city. The engineer army of Isambard Kingdom Brunel swarms across the capital, building, demolishing and rebuilding whatever they see fit, and at the heart of it all sits the country's first private detective agency. Oh, a detective agency! Archibald Fleet and Clara Entwistle hoped things would pick up quickly for their new enterprise. No one is taking them seriously, but their break will come soon. Meanwhile, police are baffled by a series of impossible bank robberies, their resources absorbed by the case, which means that when a woman witnesses a kidnapping, Fleet Entwistle Private Investigations is the only place she can turn for help. They're more than happy to oblige. But what's the motive behind the kidnap? As Clara and Fleet investigate, they find more than they could have ever imagined. So it sounds like a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, comedic sci-fi mystery. Not beyond the realms of possibility for the kind of thing that I could enjoy. This is definitely a try it and see book. I'm definitely not going to unhaul this without trying it. I feel like it's not too long either. I feel like I might really enjoy this. And I like this edition. I'd like to keep this edition. If I don't get to this anytime soon, it might go into the try a chapter or unhaul it, like read it or unhaul it style challenge. I feel like unless I really don't vibe with the humour or the writing style, I don't feel like this is at risk of being DNF'd. So with that, I'm going to change my camera battery, and then we're going to move on to my Illumicrate books. Okay, so I actually have 3 Illumicrate books to unbox, plus a non-subscription Illumicrate unboxing, and my Evernight. I have a lot to get through. I obviously have no idea which order these are coming out in, and it probably won't be the correct one, so let's just see. Oh, I think I know what this is. This is not a subscription book? I wondered why it was in there. Okay, that's fine. This is the Illumicrate edition of The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. I really like the design they've gone with. It has a quote on the back which is in Spanish on the front, and it says, "A change of scene, a change of fortune." There was a controversy around this book and I'm not entirely sure what it was, but I just don't feel like Illumicrate's decision around it. Like, there's no end papers basically. I think the artist was accused of either stealing art or using AI or they're doing something, I don't know. I literally saw like maybe 1 or 2 people maximum talking about it online. I could see no evidence for anything because Illumicrate deleted like a lot of their older posts that featured maybe something from the artist, and the artist like just blacked out their social media. So like I couldn't investigate at all, I couldn't see what was going on, and Illumicrate's decision was to like knock like £1 or £2 off of the price of this and just have no fucking artwork for the end papers. And I'm like, if you needed the PNG that day, I could have drawn you something within like a few hours. Like the thing is, like, do I have ADHD and like I never get anything done ever? True, but can I also get like in the zone about something and like I won't move for like hours until I'm done? Also true. So like, look, Illumicrate, like I could have fucking done something for these pages. I saw the artist's style, and that's like, if that was their legitimate artwork, like, because again, I don't know, I've heard nothing since, before or after. I just heard they were cancelling the artist's work from this book, and I've heard nothing about the artist since then. I just feel like when you're doing a special edition, saying, well, we're not going to have anything, is just, it sucks. Even if it was just a pattern, like the Waterstones one is just like a pattern of some fruit and it looks gorgeous with some foil on it. Would it be so hard to just put a foil pattern on the end papers so they're not blank? I don't know. I've already talked about that book and there's like nothing else to show on it because there's no half the designs that were on it, the front and back end papers, are not on it, so like I can't do anything about it. But I do really like this edition anyway. It is really pretty. Okay, so this next one, okay, looks very colourful. Yeah, if anyone has any more info about like this and like what happened, just please give it to me. I'm nosy. I want the bookish drama. Okay, oh, again, I really like the foil on this. This has lovely artwork on it. This is To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X Chang. Is this one of the authors? Is this one of the authors that, is this the Kate Corain thing with the, I'm just gonna look it up. Yes, so this is one of the books that was review bombed by known shit stirrer Kate Corain. And I'm assuming that because of that, I know Kate Corain's book was pulled from the Illumicrate subscription, so I'm assuming that they've brought this book in as like a replacement, which feels like a nice gesture. Also, this has like a lovely cover. Like, I'm not personally a fan of like character artwork on covers, but I can still appreciate that this is like really lovely artwork, and like the use of foil and like the sort of like shiny patches is really nice. Like, I like the different, like the contrast between like the matte and shiny sections of the dust jacket. That's really, really nice. The end papers are really cute as well. I love these colours. Like, it's so cute and like spring feeling. Let's see what's under the dust jacket. Ooh, oh, that's really pretty. Okay, so we've got like this, it's like, is it China on one side and like Greece on the other? Like temple style building. And then on the back is like a Grecian Roman looking temple. Again, we have some more like really stunning artwork on the end papers. Is it the same on the back? No, it's different. I will note, somebody has broken the spine on this book for me, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't know if it's just because it's like printed. I don't know. I like my books when like when I read them, I literally only open them like this far. That's not a joke. And I love like the demonic little hands and claws at the bottom. That's so cool. So this says, she has power over death, he has power over her. When two enemies strike a dangerous bargain, will they end a war or ignite one? For as long as Yang Ruying has been alive, the empire of Erlang has been occupied by Romans who mercilessly defeated the magic of her people. Now the invaders' advanced science, technology, and military make them gods. Ruying is special, having been blessed by death and born with the ability to pull life out of mortal bodies. When Antony, the second prince of Rome, uncovers Ruying's power, he offers her an impossible deal. If she becomes his private assassin and eliminates his political rivals, her family will be protected. Can Ruying trust this prince, whose promises of a better world make her heart ache, and whose smiles make her pulse beat faster? Stop! Stop! Do not romance the colonizer! Stop it! Are the evils of their agreement really in service of a much greater good, or will she betray her entire nation to guard those she loves most? I don't know if this is a YA or not. I feel like it is. I will at least give this one a go, and if it feels really heavy. Like, this feels like a nice edition actually. If I don't end up getting around to this anytime soon, I'll put it in the try a chapter tag thing that I do, whatever whatever the hell, I need a new name for it, but whatever the hell that thing that I sometimes do is, I'll put it in there if I don't find myself gravitating towards it, so that at least I will get to it at some point and it will not get forgotten on my shelf. The last of my standard Illumicrate books, and this one is looking very colourful. This is a very busy, pretty cover, but I'm not a fan of the colour scheme. So this is Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan. So I really like the foil, and I really love like the back. Like, I love the wave. Like, this is beautiful. I personally am just not a fan of like this like very deep orange and like deep blue. Just not my personal taste, but like that's fine. The under the dust jacket though is absolutely stunning. Oh, it reminds me of such like really like old school fantasy drawings and like old school sci-fi drawings. Like, you'll see what I mean. Look, this is absolutely like, this is amazing. And like, there's this is definitely a dragon, right? Like on the back. If I open it out, you can kind of see the whole thing. I love this. Like this, it reminds me of like really old classic fantasy, but like when you used to get like children's stories, like children's bind-ups. We also have really lovely like artwork on the end papers. I guess there's some like merfolk there. So this says, "Welcome to Tian Kawi, shining pearl of human civilization and a safe haven for those fleeing civil unrest. Or at least that's how it first appears. But in the semi-flooded city, humans are, quite literally, on top, peering down from shining towers and aerial walkways on the Fathom Folk, sirens, sea witches, kelpies and kappas, who live in the polluted waters below." This book has kappas? Like the traditional kind? Okay. For half-siren Mira, promotion to captain of the border guard means an opportunity to help her downtrodden people. But if earning the trust and respect of her human colleagues wasn't hard enough, everything Mira has worked towards is put in jeopardy when Nami, a know-it-all water dragon Fathom Folk royalty, is exiled to the city. When extremists sabotage the annual boat race, violence erupts, as does the clampdown on Fathom Folk rights. Both Nami and Mira must decide if the cost of change is worth paying or if Tiankawi should be left to drown. So this is a debut fantasy inspired by East Asian mythology, ocean folk tales, and it's for fans of Jade City, The Bone Shard Daughter, and House of Earth and Blood. All of the things it's meant to be, all of the things which, like, if you're a fan of, are all adult fantasy. I would have thought this was a YA, but I'm assuming it might just be kind of like a whimsical adult fantasy. It doesn't say whether it's adult or YA, but like based on the book, I would have assumed YA, but because everything it's saying if you're for fans of is all adult, I'm going to assume that this is an adult book, in which case I'll give it a go. Moving on now, I have this big chunky Illumicrate box to open, and I think these are some special editions that I ordered a while ago. If this is the ones I think it is, I was having a bad day because I was having like, it was like the first day of like a course that my work put me on that I have to do for like the next 18 bloody months, and I think that was the night that my house got broken into and robbed, so I was like, I'm buying some fucking books. No judgment, because I already have a copy of this, but I deserve this. So these are the Illumicrate special editions of Silver Under Nightfall and Court of Wonders by Rincha Pecco. Now, I have a massive issue with one of Rincha Pecco's other books, but we're not going to talk about it. The main reason I got these was because, like, I really love this design. Like, I really like the covers. So this is Silver Under Nightfall, and I just really like this. Again, it's got the same sort of design on the back. This is the spine, and here are the edges. Like, I'm not a massive fan of this purple, but I do like the design of the little bats. I also really liked the foils that came with this. Like, this is I really like the different sort of hues that are going on there. I'm getting distracted by the shine. So yeah, I really liked the foils on this, and I think this has, yeah, it has some character artwork on the end papers, and is there anything on the back? It's the same. This one is Court of Wanderers. So I really like the red on this one. I really like these designs. Again, it's pretty much the same on the back, just without the text. This is the spine, and these are the sprayed edges. Again, really similar design. So like, if you put them side by side, you can see very similar. Really like that. Such a shiny, pretty shiny foil. And these are the end papers. I don't remember too much about this series. I know that Fairyloot did an edition way back at the start of their like adult subscription, and I think it originally had a black cover and Fairyloot changed it to a white cover, so I was not the happiest. So I much prefer this edition of it. I'm pretty sure it has vampires, and does it have necromancers as well? It's definitely vampires. Yeah, it's about a vampire hunter who is rumoured to be a half vampire. I like to go into these things as blind as possible. So what I will do is, now that I have these really pretty editions, the Fairyloot one I'll probably get rid of. I might read that edition as like my, so that I don't like rub the foils off of those, but I will get rid of, I will probably unhaul the Fairyloot edition, because I think it just had like a black, it had like some gold foils on like a black hardcover, but I don't think it really had anything else special about it. I don't remember there being any like character end papers or like, I think it was just kind of plain. I have these editions now, so I can get rid of my other special edition of this book that I have not read. And from there, I'm going to be moving on to, I'm very excited about this one, the Evernight box. And this is a horror themed box, and I don't haul much horror, but I do like it occasionally, so I feel like a quarter, like 4 books a year, perfect. This is from April 2024. And there's never a theme. There's like a vibe, but like I kind of wish they would give the themes a name. Okay, before I show this is very different, very garish. I appreciate the vibes and the bravery to do a cover that I know most people are not going to like. I will say I do not like the artwork of the cover itself, but I like what they're going for. I mean, look at this. This is Murder Road by Simone St. James. Could you even really see that because of the shine? This is the design on the back. So again, very garish spine. I feel like it's giving like classic horror, like comic books. I have to question, like, this car is as wide as 2 lanes. I know she's driving down the middle of the road, but like, she couldn't fit in 1 lane if she tried. So like, honestly, I support her decision. These are the sprayed edges. Again, it's giving like that old school style of like comic artwork. I do like I really love the colour. I love this like blush pink. A map on like one side, and then like this like destination zoomed out map on the other side for Cold Lake Falls. They have a fun fair, camping, boating and fishing. So we've got some of these end papers. This is a completely different vibe to any of like the other horror books they've done before. I feel like the horror they've done before has been quite like serious in tone, whereas this seems kind of tongue-in-cheek and like a bit retro. So let me see what this is about. So this says, April and Eddie have taken a wrong turn and now they're on a long dark road late at night when they see a woman up ahead clearly in trouble. They stop and pick her up. It's only when she's in the car that they see the blood, and then the headlights appear in the distance, racing towards them at speed, and at long last the woman speaks. I'm sorry, he's coming. When April and Eddie are able to escape, this time, their terrifying adventure is only just beginning. The hitchhiker's injuries prove fatal, and the couple are trapped in the small town of Cold Lake Falls, prime suspects in the eyes of the local police. It turns out that this isn't the first victim to die on this stretch of road, and it isn't the first time that survivors have seen something that can't be explained. But to get out of town, April and Eddie are going to have to drive down that haunted stretch of road one more time. Okay, it's giving me like Mandor Carhand Hook Door, like that kind of like the story you'd tell maybe like around a campfire or something. It seems very classic, tropey, cliche, but I'm assuming this is like a modern take on like a retro kind of tropey kind of thing. It seems fun. I'll definitely give it a go. Again, if I don't see myself gravitating towards this, I will put it in like the read it or unhaul it pile. But I think this is a fun change. It's definitely unlike any other book that I've got here. So okay, so the rest of the books that I have are just miscellaneous special editions, and it doesn't tell me who it's from either, and I'm just getting a lot of, I feel like a magician. It's chonky. This has to be more than 1 book, surely. Oh, I know what these are. This is book 2 and 3 in the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey, which I believe is a writer duo. The first, I think it's Leviathan Wakes is the first book. So this is the continuation in the special edition hardcover style. I kind of bought the first one on a whim. Anderida Books is selling the whole set like signed and numbered, and like I really like the really shiny spines. I really like them. I really like sort of like deep like dual tone, like dodgem colours, especially when it's shiny. I think it's because I was born in the 90s, so I really, really like this. They come with foils under the dust jacket and on the spine, and I really, really like the foil design. Solar system, almost like a map or like a star chart, but like very simplified. Kind of reminds me of like picking things in like Mass Effect almost, but like I like the vibe of the end papers, and I believe they have reversible dust jackets. Yeah, it's kind of hard to parse what's going on here. Like this is the full, I guess it's kind of like a space battle or like a spaceship or something. The first book is upstairs, so like I cannot read you the synopsis, but like I know it's a well-received kind of well-known series, so I'm just collecting them at this point, and then like when I read them, I'll read them and I'll have these lovely editions to do so. If they keep releasing these, I will keep buying the special edition sets. So this is I think this is book 3, so this is the foil for book 3. The solar system, like little planet guide, and let's see what's on the back of this one. Okay, this one much easier to understand. I wonder if they will go together. Do you know? I just like, they're like really big chunky special editions. I really like the foils, I really like the shine. I'm collecting this series for as long as they do it. I'm hoping that when I read it, I actually like it. I think this next set then, yeah, whatever's in here is the last thing I am hauling today. Possibly the last thing I'm hauling for a long time, depending on what happens with my house situation. So, is this 5 or 6 books? I did buy a whole series at once, but I didn't buy the special editions by choice. How weird. So that I could haul all 6 books in Michael J. Sullivan's Legends of the First Empire series, and these are, I think, all signed hardcover, like first editions, so you absolutely could buy this special box set with them all like leather bound, I think, and it was very expensive. And that was the edition that I did have in my cart right up until I got to the checkout, and then I was like, do I actually want the leather bound editions? Because the only thing about the leather bound editions is it's just plain. Like, they're just plain. Like, yes, the status of having leather, but I really like these covers. I think they absolutely slap. I missed out on buying this, but like, I saw this cover everywhere when I was like first getting back into like booktube. It just got advertised to me so much, and like I had it in my cart for ages on like various different websites, and then it got to the point where it was like, I think it just sold out, and I was like, oh shit, because I forget that things like this is why I have to buy everything, because if I want like a hardcover of something, if I don't buy it immediately, they stop making it. But yeah, they come with a bookmark, and the bookmark is signed as well. That's really cute. I think the books themselves are, yeah, every single one of the books is signed. I do not think there's anything special about the hardcovers, but they do have like a really nice colour scheme going on. To blast through them, I have book 1, Age of Myth, book 2, Age of Swords, book 3, Age of War, book 4, Age of Legend, book 5, Age of Death, and book 6, Age of Empire, which I thought was like a strategy game, but sure. So this is the whole entire hardback series, and they're signed. It comes in like a nice slipcase as well, and it's like I have hauled several other of Michael J. Sullivan's books recently. I think in like one of my last hauls I got some of his like leather bound special editions. Honestly, I might have kickstarted some more, I'm not entirely sure. But I was like, this specific series, the special edition set I like less than like these nice fun dust jackets, so I would rather get the cheaper set that I think looks better. They're not leather, but like I want the artwork that comes on these covers, because I really, really like the artwork on these covers. I think they're stunning. One other thing I will say, and I need to fact check myself on this, so this is like the symbol that comes on the side of the slipcase, this tree. I thought that this artwork was bespoke, like that this artwork must have been made solely for the book series that it was like made for, because another book that I've kickstarted, a different book by a different author, has that exact same symbol as the front cover of the book on their leather-bound edition. So I thought it was from that book, and then when I saw this, I was like, well, this has been out for ages. This series has been out for a long-ass time. I guess it's just like the equivalent of like fantasy fucking clip art. I thought it was like a bespoke design, and I really like that. And I'm like, could I just print a book with that cover? Could I just license it and like print a book with this cover? Because apparently it's not like specific to the series. So yeah, those are the last books in my haul. Thank God. Like, when I haul a whole series, do I haul a whole series or do I haul a whole series? That's really hard to say. I have been talking for like 4 hours though, so like it's 5:30 now. My throat is pretty dead. I need to take a thumbnail with like, oh, look at like all of this mess. Like I'm surrounded by like bubble wrap as well, so like how am I gonna do this? I feel like I should take a picture, like I should take a thumbnail, like, you know when people pose with like fish when they hunt fish? I'm just gonna build a big wall out of books and that can be my thumbnail. So thank you guys so much for watching this big unplanned haul, but like I really had to get this out of the way. I feel like quite a lot of the stuff we've had has been like demonic or like vampires or like horror stuff, so like leave me like a little demonic face emoji or like some sort of like dead or demonic thing, like a devil face or something, I don't know. Leave me something like that, and I guess let me know like which, if any of these books, like which would you be most interested in, either you would prioritize or that you want me to prioritize. Do not say the 6-book series. Do not say it. But yeah, I definitely think that there are some here that I like, especially some of the books that I started out with, like a lot of the fantasy mystery stuff is definitely really high up on my personal like internal TBR as far as my logic goes. But like, what about you guys? Either like, what are you interested in hearing me like talk about sooner, or like which one would you personally be most interested in? Even if you know that I'm gonna stick it on the back burner, like is anyone here interested in the Swan Lake book? Anyone at all? Okay, and with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed this or found it interesting, or maybe I'm just making yourselves feel better about your own bad financial decisions by just being so much worse by comparison. If anything, I am here to fulfill that role. You may use me to do so. And yeah, hopefully, if you haven't been driven away, hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!